Touch of Grey Matter. I'm your host, Dave A Ton of Fun Sokolowski. I'm with Xulf. Anything but Adele sucks, Ali. And Barry 3D, Deep, Dark, and Delicious Carter.
Woo!
Whoa!
You're literally rocking the. Yo, did you just like had some tandoori chicken or butter chicken? Because you bobbed that head like you did good.
Right?
You did just like that video I made for you from that avatar that I made for you guys.
See, well, now you got a new one to try out.
And if you have been watching us, and well, fuck, thanks. We're fucking done that you came back. If you have been watching it, you'll notice that Thomas Patrice is absent. We believe he is recovering from ODing on Plan B pills. He should be back with us next week. So, yeah, how have you been, boys? How's everything going? What's new? Exciting.
Great weekend, man. Like, I look forward for the weekend. No, I don't. No, I don't. Then I got to interact with the family. No, I don't look forward for the weekend, man.
So this is your escape from the family. Is that what it is?
I am trying to hook up as many Zoom shows as possible. They're like, "Yo, why don't you come and have dinner?" I got a show. And I'm just looking at myself in the camera. I'm like, hey, another white hair. Look at that.
But you rock it so stylish.
I know, bro.
All fun on Wednesday night is literally just sitting there going, so, I'm watching my kid play soccer, and all of a sudden he's like, Daddy, look. He's not even on Zoom.
It's
he's
a blank
just
screen.
filming himself. So if somebody was to walk by, they'd sit there and go, oh, look, he is on Zoom. Wow, he's really doing this. That's really good.
Guys, you don't understand. I just record this video, and I keep playing it. And they keep thinking I'm in a meeting.
Father of the year. No, my week's been good so far. Catching up on all my YouTube, Amazon, Tubi, Netflix, Disney Plus shows as much as possible. Yeah, because what else is really going on, right? So
Pornhub, how about that? Did you catch up on that?
Oh, I got to the end of that. They gave me a thank you message.
Oh.
I'm upset with Disney Plus right now, so.
Why? What's up?
Well, we'll get into the topic in a moment, but apparently. So they launched that Star Plus.
Right?
Yeah.
Disney Plus Star, whatever the fuck it is. And on there they have the Planet of the Apes movies.
Oh, okay. I didn't even get that far into it yet.
They've got like the 68 original. They have Escape from the Planet of the Apes and Battle for the Planet of the Apes.
Ooh, okay. All of them.
But no.
Oh.
No, not all of them.
Okay.
They also have that Tim Burton abortion on film with fucking Marky Mark.
Oh, okay. I remember that one. Yeah. Marky Mark.
And then the last three they've got is the Dawn, Rise, and War for the Planet of the Apes, which have been really, really good. I've really enjoyed them. But the original series was 5 films.
Yes.
Was the Planet of the Apes, Beneath the Planet of the Apes, Escape from the Planet of the Apes, Conquest of the Planet of the Apes, then Battle.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they've left out Beneath and Conquest, which I think are 2 of the most important films other than the original, like the Planet of the Apes.
Right.
And for some reason they went, let's just keep.
Well, here's another question, right? And forgive my memory. I want to be sure. Still getting you beyond the grave. Isn't the movie Condor Man a Disney movie? It was. I think it was. I thought it was. Where the guy, he's a comic book writer. He has his own comic book, but what he does is that he invents all the items for his main character that he writes about, called Condor Man, and he invents them in real life to make sure they work. So then he writes about them in his comic book, but he gets caught up in this kind of spy thing. So it's a kind of spy superhero kind of thing. So he's got the Condor mobile. He's got a whole full costume with the wings. Condor
Yeah, the
Man.
wings. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought Condor Man was a Disney Plus show. I mean, a Disney Plus movie.
It is actually.
It is, right? But
Yeah,
it's not on. But it's not on Disney Plus. It's Disney, but it's not on Disney Plus.
Production. Yeah, it is. Wow.
So
1981. Wow.
Right. Remember, now this is geek me seeing something close to a comic book in the theater, and I'm thinking, need to see this. Watched it, said yes, loved it. This is the closest we're ever going to get to a superhero thing. I mean, now this is back in 1981, so now, of course, in 2021, here we are, loving it. But back in 1981, it was slim pickings. How do you not have Condor Man on Disney Plus? The first thing I watched.
Here's the crazy thing. Somebody actually Googled and asking this question. They're like, 800 new movies you've added to this amazing channel. How come there's no Condor Man? What the fuck? I was like, wow.
Right?
That's a direct question on Quora.
I got Disney Plus for my birthday, not my birthday, sorry, my Christmas gift, because that's what I wanted, right? Back. So I got Disney Plus, and the first thing I did was binge The Mandalorian Season 1. Loved it.
I remember you told me about that. Yeah.
Right. Then I jumped on right away. So I got bloodshot eyes. I'm like, I'm not stopping. And then I went on and I watched the Black Hole. And then right after I finished that movie, I watched The Cat from Outer Space.
What?
Yeah, there's a movie called The Black Hole. Yeah, no, it's not a Pornhub thing.
I seriously thought.
You thought it was a Pornhub thing, didn't you?
Yeah, I thought you probably bent over to pick up some socks, butt naked. And you're like, oh, look at that vortex.
No, man, I ain't going to jail. I ain't sucking nothing in. So then, so I watched The Black Hole. Then I watched The Cat from Outer Space. And then I was all set at early hours in the morning, like almost 4 or 5 in the morning, and say, you know what? I'm in this far. Screw it. I'm staying up all night. I'm watching Condor Man. There was no Condor Man.
Yeah, I remember that because we met up for some show after that. And you were telling me how you were binge watching it. And then Corona happened. And I was like, yo, this is exactly what Barry wished for. This was his Christmas wish. They could finish the whole Disney lineup.
Right? Well, no, and that's the thing. As soon as they released Star, I was like, ooh, wait a minute, that's all the Fox stuff. Wait a minute, that's Planet of the Apes and all that. And I looked and I was like, the fuck are the other two?
Right?
Actually, let me Google that and see if somebody's like cussed them out on that. Which was it called? Beneath?
There's Beneath the Planet of the Apes and Conquest of the Planet of the Apes.
Which, as a fan, when you get the streaming service, these are things you want to see, right? Like I really was. I mean, come on. I watched A Cat from Outer Space. I watched The Black Hole. I was ready. Condor Man. Here we go. I'm reliving it. And the streaming service, what they do is it's not so much what you see on the streaming service, because I see people going to say, oh, it's not as good when you watch it now from back then, right? It's the nostalgia of it. I remember, 1981, me, a very young guy, said, okay, I'm going to see this movie, and my dad would take me. So a lot of time when I saw like the original Star Wars.
Yeah, memory associated with
exactly.
It too, right?
My dad, my mom, I have to admit, they were great for that. They would look at me sometimes and they would see me get all excited and they're like, oh God, we got to go to this theater. Okay. And I picture two parents from Barbados, right? Sitting there trying to understand, the whole Luke, I'm your father. I'm a father. We talked about this before. And using the Force. And I'm like, oh my God, he's got a lightsaber. And my dad's like, what the ass is a lightsaber? I know sugar cane. I know radio antenna. What's his lightsaber? He make a sword. That can't make Barry. He's walking with a flashlight.
Those are tube lights.
It's like, Barry, that's not a lightsaber. That's a flashlight. No, Dad, it's a lightsaber. It's like, okay, there, little Barry.
Lightsaber casts a shadow.
Right? And I have to go back, and I really have to shout out my parents for putting up with me, because I was huge and still am into science fiction. So they would do stuff like when I saw King Kong vs. Godzilla, the original, that came on CBS way back, right? It was a Saturday. It was a Friday night. So my parents would go to work. I was in school, pick me up. They would go grocery shopping. So we'd go grocery shopping, all three of us. Go to my aunt's house, right? Because the mall was close to my aunt's house. Then come home, get home maybe 10 o'clock or so. And then it's like, okay, Dad, I'm tired. I'm going to bed. But can you wake me up at midnight? Or can you wake me up at 1 o'clock in the morning? So my dad would sit there, and he'd worked all day. My dad went to work, and he left the house like 5:30 in the morning. So he's been awake this whole time. Same thing with my mom. And they would wake me up at this time, because there's no VCR to record anything, to then sit there and watch King Kong versus Godzilla with me at 1 o'clock in the morning. Who had the cat nap? This guy, right? And they're there, and they're like, okay, okay. And then sure enough, the next morning, I'd be up at 6 o'clock in the morning to watch my, Battle of the Planets.
Yeah.
And Grandizer and all those other cartoons.
I love Grandizer.
Right? And then my dad would wake up, and he's like, okay, you up? Yeah, okay, I'll make you some breakfast. And he'd make me breakfast, and I'd be in front of the TV just kind of da 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 da. He's literally slept like maybe 3-4 hours, and he would get up. Him and my mom would get up and watch this stuff with me just to, do their parently duty. So I don't even know how they had time to make my brother, because I had them busy.
I'm sure
Sorry, go ahead, Dave. What?
I'm sure there was a couple of nights where you were just like, I'm too tired for this. And they were like, yeah. We made your dinner special tonight. Eat up.
Yeah, don't worry. He's not waking up for the next couple of days. But that's the beauty of it. So you watch these things on a streaming service, it just brings back all those memories.
Yeah. And watching it on 4K is like, it's still a little better quality than what you remember it to be, man. Like, that busted TV, that big ass air conditioned TV compared to the slim ones that we have now. And they throw up, like, I was watching the Patrice O'Neal documentary, but I've never seen it on TV.
Oh, okay.
I've always seen it on like the YouTube. So it's like not really a good friend, but you still enjoy the jokes, you still enjoy everything. But they were playing it the other day on Comedy Central 4K, and I was like, no, the jokes sound so much better, because now you can see his facial expressions, he's laughing out and everything. So totally get it, man. Totally get it.
Right, but it brings back those memories, right? Because like Patrice O'Neal, as a comedian, this guy was fire.
He was beast, man. He was a beast. It was insane.
So it's good to watch him in something like that. But that's why I said, so for me, the streaming services it's fun to watch it. But, like I said, my daughter's never understand that when I watch Godzilla, it was a guy in a suit.
Yeah. I can't bend my arms.
Well, that's the thing, too. So, we haven't really started on the topic yet.
No, I know. Thomas says he's popping in, right? So...
Well, he said 2 minutes, 15 minutes ago, and, so that's pretty good time for him. But the thing is, too, and I remember, like, growing up, I was also a huge science fiction and comic book and everything else. One of the shows I loved to watch was Doctor Who.
Oh, yeah, Doctor Who.
Always been a huge fan of Doctor Who, and I remember, like, for the longest time, BBC never released any of the older ones.
Mm.
And then they kind of restarted everything up, and I got back into it and whatnot, and then they were coming out with the older ones, and you could always find them on videotape, but again, really shitty quality and everything else. And like, like when they did the first ones, it was on film.
Yeah.
Right? And I got this, it's a streaming service off of Prime. It's one from Britain. And they've got everything from the first Doctor's appearance.
Oh, geez.
All the way up to the one right before the movie.
Wow.
Okay. Holy crap. That's a wealth right there.
They've got all, like all the Tom Baker ones from the 80s. Sylvester McCoy, John Pertwee, the first two that were Patrick Troughton, and I can't remember the first guy's name right now. It's escaping me, but either way. So yeah, but now I've watched them, and I've watched them with like Em when we've been here, and she's just sitting there going, how the fuck? That's oh my God, that's the shittiest paint job I've ever seen on. He's wearing a garbage bag painted. You do know that, right? And I'm like, yeah, I do. Just shut the fuck up. I'm watching this. Like,
See, that's what I'm saying. It's like, so this is fun with the streaming services, and that's the cool thing. You've got to find the positive thing about COVID. It's allowed the world to slow down a little bit to maybe enjoy things that we would have got a chance to enjoy. That's how I feel about it. So I've gotten a chance to slow down.
William Hartnell was the first Doctor. It just
there you go. See, like you're talking about Doctor Who, and this triggers one of my memories. I didn't know Doctor Who was that long lived. As I said, like for how long it's been running overall, right, from in Britain to here. My first experience was back in the 80s when I was kind of collecting comic books because Marvel had a Doctor Who comic book they used to put out. So that's the first time I saw it. And when I saw it, I didn't understand the significance of it. I saw the guy, he had the curly hair, he had the scarf, and I'm like, Doctor Who. Okay, he's traveling around in a phone booth. But I said I never seen the TV show at that point. And then a little after I saw one of the episodes, but I just never sat down to catch it because I was more, even though I liked my sci-fi, I was more into the animation and that's where it would catch my attention, right? My sci-fi came along for live action would have been, anything from, what's his name called? Anderson Vision or what is it? The guy who did Thunderbirds, Stingray, with the puppets and all that.
Yeah, the marionettes, yeah.
The marionettes, exactly. So, I used to watch all that and then not knowing that same guy who designed those shows also worked on Space 1999, which I was a huge fan of. He made all the sets, he made the spaceships, everything. Jerry Anderson, that's his name.
Okay.
So it was him and his wife that had that production company, Anderson Vision, that they would do it, or Marionette or Super Vision or whatever he used to do at the end of the episode. He worked his way up through starting with marionettes, then doing a combination of live action and marionette, and then getting into live action. But his model sets were amazing. So, Space 1999. Oh, it had the word space. I'm there. Buck Rogers in the 25th century.
Buck Rogers. Oh my God.
I'm there. Right?
Yeah.
These were my shows, man. And then, get a little bit older. It was the original V series. So it was the movie.
Oh man, I love those. I love those original V series.
I love that one. And it was funny too, because I always said, it was the first time I ever saw Robert Englund.
Right.
And then he went off to play Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
He went from a vegetarian to Freddy Krueger.
But that was the thing. As soon as I saw him as Freddy Krueger, he was no longer, he wasn't scary to me because I had seen him in V.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he's a fucking lizard. He's and everybody else was like, what are you talking about? This Freddy Krueger is like, I'm like, he was in this show, and they were like, I've never seen it. I'm like, well, you're an idiot, because it was. But again, that was the thing, because once that show aired, if you missed it, you missed it. Yeah,
it's true. But I got them all on DVD. I bought the box.
Now they're all out on DVD and everything else, and
that was, come on, because to me that was when I came across. I mean, I love V. I like the whole concept. So V, I like the Diana, the female lizard.
Woo!
Woo! Shivers.
No, shivers are only when Dave closes the show.
Well, that was me getting shivers back then.
This was more like.
It was her.
Turn into the lizard now, and
I am the Lizard King.
When that came out, that was a time in all of our lives where we were like, "Oh, what's that?"
It was a two-pronged reaction. Like, what's that? What's this? Right? But,
I want to see it too.
Right, but that there, introduced me to Diana, and I was like, okay, I'm watching it because she was in it. But then it had the most badass actor to me at the time, who I'm surprised they didn't do more. Michael Ironside.
Oh yeah, he was in it too.
He played a resistance leader, Michael Ironside. So if you look up Michael Ironside, this guy, he was the voice of Sam. If you play the game Splinter Cell,
Yes.
The original Splinter Cell on Xbox, which is like a spy game there. He was the voice actor for that. But Michael Ironside, anytime you needed a hard ass person in a role,
Yeah.
he was the guy. He might be a little bit of like Jack Nicholson. He has a Jack Nicholson quality to him.
Yeah.
Like not as psycho looking as Jack Nicholson, but more like, do it.
Still a crazy looking guy, man.
Yeah, he looks like he would fuck you up. He looks like he was
him being like the old pictures like I'm seeing of him now, he looks like Don Rickles a little bit.
Right. But he's got that voice. If you hear him talk.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember now when I'm looking at his face, I'm like, oh yeah.
I'm surprised that he didn't do more. He's done a lot of stuff. But
he's always the type that seems that he would kick the shit out of you and enjoy doing it.
Right. And there's nothing you can do to stop it. You just look and going, okay, okay. And he would smile when he'd do it. See, he's one of those actors that stood out to me, man. And anytime he's in a smaller role and he's doing something, I'm like, give him something really to sink himself into.
Fuck, I sound like Enigma right now.
We're doing our own version of Daft Punk.
Enya, thank you.
So, anyways, what?
Oh, what's happening here? We got 5 of Thomas McGree's.
It's that part of time where you're like, you're just pulling out of her ass and she shits all over you.
Yeah.
So wrong.
So I come into a conversation with 4 of my best friends, and I hear at the end of it, "You're just pulling up her ass, and she shits all over you." What the hell are you talking about?
It's Dave, man. That was his topic today.
All right, man. You got next. No, I'm joking.
You better top that.
God.
Good luck now.
It's sick. I love it.